And welcome. In this video tutorial, we'll show you how to use the status buttons in your StreetWise Responder personal smartphone app. Now, the status buttons are located at the top of the screen, and they're going to be available on any screen. You can see here we're in the alert screen that status buttons are here at the top. If we go into the tactical map, they're also located at the top of the screen, and any other menus that we bring up, they're still in the same place. Now, the status buttons are what we call smart buttons, meaning that the very first button here is the current status that your device is set for, and that's what our server is recognizing as your available or current status. The next three buttons to the right are the next three most logical choices that you would likely want to use. Those will change as you change your status. So, in this particular case, let's say that we're going to mark en route to the station. So we're going to say responding to station. As soon as we push that button, our status changes to responding to station, and then we get the additional choice of being able to choose a specific station that we're responding to. So here, let's say we're responding to station 2. Now, the next most logical is that we get to station 2 and we say we're on the scene, or we cancel and go back into available status. In the next example, we'll say we're responding to the scene, and again, obviously, the next most logical choices are on scene, or again, we get disregarded and we become available. There is a status called cannot respond. Now, if we hit that status, it's indicating to all the other responders that we have received the call, we're aware of it, but there's some reason that we're unable to respond to this call. You don't have to hit that, but it's a polite way of letting your other fellow firefighters know that you're not going to be available to respond to this particular call, because that cannot respond status will appear in the responder panel of all your other devices, including the MDT devices in the apparatus, that is the full tablet CADlink version, or if you're using the station smartboards, that's the status that will appear in the smartboards. Now, there's also an icon down at the right, what we call the hamburger icon, or the three lines, and when you click that, it gives you a variety of all the statuses that you can see that you would have access to. So we have cannot respond, responding to station. Perhaps you're just monitoring the call, but you're not going to immediately respond. That's just letting the other responders know that you may be busy, you may be at work, but you are at least listening or paying attention to the call, and if necessary, you may have to upgrade and leave work and respond to that call. So that status of monitoring simply lets the others know that you're aware of the call and that you're not sure you're going to be able to respond. If we scroll down, we can see that we also have a status for work detail. If we're going to be involved in a work detail or some kind of special detail, we can indicate that status, and that will show that we're involved in a detail and perhaps unavailable to respond to another call. The most important one I want to point out is this status down here called off-duty. It's very important to remember the off-duty status, because that's the status that will stop your device from receiving any push notifications or any alerts from the StreetWise server. So if I click on that off-duty status, it shows that I'm off-duty here. Now, I can leave this application, I can shut down the application, I can go use something else, and I will not receive any other calls from StreetWise so long as my status is off duty. When I want to start receiving calls again, I simply reopen the StreetWise application and change my status back to available. And at that point, calls will again begin coming through to my device, activating the push notifications.